told you about the weather. Here's a look at the two teams. The Steelers have won the toss, and they've elected to receive the second half kickoff, so they have deferred. And Cleveland will get it first. A look at Mike Tomlin. And a lot of times, Rich, you got problems with a team that appears to be talented on the outside. Head coach already takes a lot of criticism to begin with, especially in situations like this.
Yeah, when you're struggling, Kevin, the Pittsburgh Steelers not used to losing 2 in a row, let alone 4 in a row under Mike Tomlin. And of course, on the other side of it, Hugh Jackson still searching for their first win, an 0-10 start. Not what he was anticipating when he took the job back in the offseason.
You're underway. The Boswell kickoff is on the ground, as you see, and out of bounds, and picked up by George Atkinson III. Yep, he's related to that Atkinson of the Raiders, and he's out past the 20 into about the 22, 23-yard line, and a 19-yard return. Hit on the play by Roosevelt Nix. This takes us to the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, Cody Kessler. Makes his 8th start of the season today, Rich, after getting benched, as you talked about earlier, last week.
Yeah, I want to see how he handles the weather. Remember, he played high school and college football in the state of California. He's played one game in college with temperature below 40 degrees. He's not wearing gloves. I want to see how he's able to throw the ball in the wind.
With the 1st and 10. Harrison is starting. How about that? Stop right off the bat by Ricardo Matthews, taking the place of the injured and out Cam Hayward. It's a loss of 2 back to the 20-yard line. Left tackle Joe Thomas, a 9-time Pro Bowler. He's going to see linebacker James Harrison today across the line. That will be fun to watch. And after a terrific start to the season, we just talked about this, Isaiah Crowell hasn't produced as before, but is still counted on today to be a big part of their offense. 2nd and 12. This is Isaiah Crowell, who began his career at Georgia, brought down in the linebacking core by Timmons. It is a pickup of 5 on the play. We just talked about the free agent signee. Ricardo Matthews replaces maybe the best defender on that Steeler group, Cam Hayward. He tore a pec against Dallas last week. Done for the season. There's Harrison, replaces the Demotis Jarvis Jones. Harrison a sack away, becoming the all-time leading sacker in Pittsburgh defensive history. And Artie Burns starts his 3rd consecutive game. Will Gay will be the slot corner. And it's 3rd and 6. Duke Johnson was in. He got by 2, and he looks downfield, and he's got Terrell Pryor. He's got the first down, stiff arms his way to the 38-yard line. Hit on the play by Mike Mitchell, hit by Cockrell. It is a gain of 38 through the wind and downfield for a Cleveland first down.
Well, keep an eye on Pryor down the bottom of the screen. He's going to see the scramble, and he's going to break off his route. You watch at the top, he comes back, little double move here, and Kessler's able to buy enough time and get the ball to his big 6'4" target down the field.
In a 38 right there, 1st and 10 for Kessler. Thomas keeping Harrison out, and here comes Cody Kessler out of USC and dropped. Well, as good as he looked on the first one, they go to the other side here, and it's dropped by the rookie out of Baylor, their top pick, Corey Coleman. He has been a bright spot, but it's incomplete.
And if there was one knock on him coming out of college, were the drops. He had a bunch of them at Baylor. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's got great bursts off the line of scrimmage, but he's still learning the intricacies and the details of really playing that wide receiver position.
Nice coverage on the play, too, by rookie Artie Burns. 2nd and 10. 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends. Isaiah Crowell, and from behind, pulled down by Ryan Shazier. It's a loss of 2 on the play to the 40-yard line.
Let's take a look at the scouting report, Kevin, for the Cleveland Browns. When they're rolling well, it's the running game with Isaiah Crowell. He got off to a great start the first month of the season. The weakness right now is the lack of playmakers that they have around the young and experienced quarterback. When you look at Pittsburgh defensively, I think it's the play of their linebackers, especially inside with Shazier and Lawrence Timmons. The weakness right now has to be the pass defense. They're 28th against the pass. They're giving up over 275 yards a game through the air.
It's a 3rd and 12. He'll look into the nickel and a flag. The referee today is Brad Allen.
False start. Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
It's one of the knocks on Cody Kessler has been he can't throw downfield that much, and he just hit one for 38. That is a sign that Hugh Jackson wanted to see.
Trying to push the ball down the field. I wouldn't say he has the strongest arm, Kevin. I think he's been a little bit reluctant. And in fairness to him, I mean, you have to ask yourself, where are the big playmakers? I think Pryor got off to a really good start the first 3 or 4 games, but has been very quiet. He's starting to see a little bit more double team. Someone other than Pryor has to begin to make some plays in the passing game.
Duke Johnson was in, 3rd and 17 for the Cleveland Browns. Opening drive of the game, going deep again. And that is picked off. Artie Burns gets it. And he's got his second as a rookie. They go downfield for Coleman. Kessler throws only his second pick of the season.
Underthrown, deep ball. The rookie Artie Burns there to make the play.
We're talking about before the game how well Kessler's been taking care of the ball.
Yeah, he's done a terrific job, Kevin. Just the one interception coming into today's game. Unfortunately, he throws one here early in the first quarter.
It's Le'Veon Bell on 1st and 10 and tries to dig, and then he is stacked up on the play. There's not a lot of room. He picks up about 3. Knocked down by linebacker Cam Johnson with a look there at Ben Roethlisberger. Last week against the Cowboys, Rich, over 400 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns.
I think he's feeling better coming off of that knee surgery a month ago. But I got a kick out of him last night. He said, I'm a hunter, I play golf, and I'm a quarterback. I'm constantly checking the weather. He said the first thing he was going to do this morning is get up and take a peek outside. He's worn gloves all week. He's got big hands, and I think he controls the ball well through the air with the wind.
4 in the secondary. This is Bell. Banged down and taken on the play by Christian Kirksey. Picks up 8, has the first down out to the 15-yard line. The offensive line has missed only 3 starts total all season, anchored by the center Marquise Pouncey. Wide receiver Antonio Brown, the #1 receiver in the National Football League. He had 14 receptions last week against the Cowboys, all led by offensive coordinator Todd Haley. 1st and 10. Base defense outside Eli Rogers. And Kirksey along with Demario Davis make the stop. In that linebacking core with a gain of 5. He's up to the 20-yard line. Nose tackle Danny Shelton is ranked the #1 stopper against the run in the NFL from Pro Football Focus. Linebacker Jamie Collins came over in a Halloween trade with New England. He's played every defensive snap in his 2 games. He's been terrific. And the Joe Hayden-Antonio Brown matchup will be one to watch today. A couple of Pro Bowlers going head-to-head with the defensive coordinator Ray Horton pulling the levers upstairs. 2nd down and 5. Bell, nice hesitation. Getting around the block there of James. And then you see Davis and others push him back. He gets up to about the 25 and picks up 4 on the play. Demario Davis, the former New York Jet.
Kevin, a moment ago you mentioned Marquise Pouncey in the lineups. And when you build an offense, you always talk about being strong down the middle. When you think about it, they've got a Pro Bowl center in Pouncey. Behind him you have a Pro Bowl quarterback in Roethlisberger. Then directly behind him you have a Pro Bowl running back. Not every team has that luxury, but Pittsburgh is strong down the middle.
It's a 3rd and 1, and this is Bell, and he plummets his way for the first down. In the secondary, Body Calhoun, gain of 6 in the play. Davis once again there, out to the 30 for a first.
And Le'Veon Bell is so patient with the ball in his hands. He's never in a rush to just smack it up in there. He has great vision and a feel for how to create space and find a rushing lane. And he can stop and start on a dime. If you're the Browns, you've got to do a good job getting a bunch of hats to the football, setting the edge, and forcing him to run between the tackles.
Roethlisberger with a 1st and 10. He gets a block on the far side by Gilbert. He's going deep, and the ball caught some wind, and Hayden was stride for stride with receiver Antonio Brown.
Let's take a look at the scouting report, Kevin, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I referred to him as the big 3, but Roethlisberger, Bell, and Brown. That's a special group. You look at the depth at wide receiver. The injuries in youth opposite Antonio Brown, a little bit of a concern. You look at Cleveland's defense. Jamie Collins has been a welcomed addition. He's played every snap the last 2 weeks. and the run defense is a weakness right now for Cleveland. 31st, we're giving up over 140 yards a game on the ground.
With a second down and 10, it's Bell. He gets a block by DeCastro, and he's chased on the play by Kirksey. And hit in the secondary by Reynolds, who makes the start. 19-yard catch and run, and the Steelers to their 49 with the first.
Well, they're such a good screen team, and you've got a back that's very patient that can make great plays in space. Look at him sell it, the protection, and you look at the right guard, get out in front of it. DeCastro, they've got guards and a center that can really get out and run and get up on the second level and cut and give Le'Veon Bell some real lanes in the open field.
So much on the same page, aren't they? Huh?
It's great timing and rhythm when they're rolling offensively.
Bell on 1st and 10, slicing, breaking tackles, and takes it in the secondary. Hit by Kendrick, picks up 12 on the play to the Cleveland 39.
Well, look at the movement you get at the point with the center and the right guard, and then they get the lead with Jesse James, the tight end, playing fullback, and we talked about the patience and the burst up on the second level. And one of the problems, Kevin, as you study this Cleveland defense, they don't tackle well in the secondary. The safety play has been a real issue. They take poor angles and they miss a bunch of tackles down around the line of scrimmage.
No.
Brown's in the nickel in the secondary, 1st and 10. It is Brown. There's Hayden with the stop. Antonio Brown touches that and picks up 3. Rich down to the 36-yard line of the Cleveland Browns.
Well, you look at that stat right there. They've allowed 6 opening drive touchdowns. We talk so much about getting off to a good start, whether it's offensively, even defensively, getting a 3 and out, giving your young offense an opportunity. You can't allow Pittsburgh to take the ball and drive the length of the field.
Roethlisberger had that meniscus knee surgery 1 month ago. Only missed 1 game.
He's maybe as tough as they come,
Yeah.
Kevin, at the quarterback position.
10th play of the drive, 2nd down and 7. Bell, nifty move, and he gets by Davis and Kirksey along with Collins. Usher him out of bounds with a catch and run there of 9. And you can put him now at about the 28-yard line at Cleveland. Another first down for Pittsburgh on their opening drive.
I think he's maybe just as dangerous with the ball in his hands out of the backfield in the passing game. And trying to tackle Le'Veon Bell in the open field is not a one-man job. He usually makes the first defender miss. Got to get a bunch of hats to the football when 26 has it.
They had 448 yards last week. This offense did against Dallas. They were terrific. 1st and 10. It's Bell. There's a block by James. He tries to find some room. Then it's clogged up by Davis, who only allows a gain of 3, Rich, down to the 25-yard line.
There's a kick out of Ben Roethlisberger last night, Kevin. When he made the comment, he said, "I don't really spin the ball well." I said, "What are you talking about? You know, you're the top 10 in just about every passing category in the history of the game." But he said he doesn't spin it. He said his ball floats a bit. And so by wearing the gloves, it helps him drive it a little bit. It helps him put a little bit more spin on the football. So he's worn them, as we know in the past. He's worn them all week in practice, and he's used to playing in these type of conditions.
Second down, 7. Roethlisberger, Bell. There's Collins. Rich, let me ask you, when you played in weather like this, rain, wind, snow, whatever, did you wear a glove?
I did. I played 17 years. I wore gloves one time, Kevin, at my last year in a torrential downpour. I was never really comfortable. A lot of quarterbacks aren't comfortable. They want to feel the leather. But Ben has big hands. He's comfortable wearing them. He's done it in the past. He plays obviously in Pittsburgh. You play in the AFC North. You're used to playing outdoor in the elements. But I just think he does a great job driving the ball in the wind. The good quarterbacks can do that, and that's what Ben does. He cuts the ball through the wind.
2 tight ends, including Johnson. 1st and 10. Bell blocked by DeCastro, blocked by James. He's finally taken down in the secondary by Reynolds. It's a 9-yard gain and close to a first down. He's at about the 9-yard line at Cleveland. Boy, Bell's been terrific. The big play, a 19-yard catch and run on this drive by Le'Veon Bell.
Well, 7 carries and then 3 receptions already for Le'Veon Bell.
Look at those numbers, though, already.
He's been a one-man wrecking crew. And Kevin, when you watch him, it doesn't look like he's going fast. It looks like it's in slow motion because he's just so patient he gets lost sometimes behind that big offensive line.
Good balance, run pass. Second one, and somebody moved on this drive. It started, looked like he
False
did.
start. Offense number 26. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
This drive began back at the 4-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers after the interception on the play by rookie Artie Burns in the secondary for Pittsburgh.
Le'Veon Bell just chomping to get the ball. Look at Pittsburgh. They've been very good in this part of the field. You look at Roethlisberger, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. Of course, the matchup you're looking for down here is Antonio Brown matched up on Joe Hayden. That's a marquee matchup to keep an eye on. Most teams have been doubling 84 most of the season.
Second down, 6, Bell. And plugged right there, you see Kirksey, you see Shelton, and they allow no gain on the play. That was the 14th play of this 8-minute drive. And they'll keep him at about the 13, 14-yard line.
Well, Danny Shelton has played well. He's probably their most improved player from a season ago. He's powerful and explosive in the middle of that 3-4 defense. The thing I like, he's difficult to move off the ball because he plays with such a low center of gravity. He's got those big arms to be able to push you and control double teams.
It's 3rd and 6. Roethlisberger into the nickel. Good block by Gilbert. Knocked away. Did James get it? I don't think he did. Bobby Calhoun, a rookie free agent out of Minnesota, was there with a nice defensive play. It's 4th down. The defense holds. And now a field goal try for Roethlisberger's offense on the first drive.
That's a nice play by Bobby Calhoun. Another player that defensive coordinator Ray Horton signaled out in the meeting on Friday. He said he's really come on and played a whole lot better here the last month of the season.
So here is Chris Boswell. He'll try from 32. There is wind in his face. And the snow is falling. And it's 3-0 Pittsburgh on a 32-yard field goal. But bit of a win there for the Browns defense. They keep Tomlin's offense out of the end zone. 2:28 in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by Acura. Precision crafted performance.
The Steelers bust over from Pittsburgh a little over 2 hours. They get to downtown Cleveland. They just cashed in on the Artie Burns interception. They only get 3. But they do have a wonderful opening game performance from Le'Veon Bell. The 32-yard field goal, and the wind blowing it off the tee. The Steelers in second place in the North. The Cleveland Browns are 0-10, and they're looking for their first win.
You always talk about getting your playmakers some touches early. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Le'Veon Bell, 8 rushes for 45 yards, 3 receptions for 34 yards on that opening drive.
They may have to, they're going to have somebody actually hold it right now. Justin Gilbert, a former Cleveland Brown and a very high pick by the Browns, who was later sent to Pittsburgh, will hold it. He's familiar with the wind here, having played with Cleveland. Atkinson, along with Ricardo Lewis, are back to retrieve the kickoff from Chris Boswell, who just kicked a 32-yard field goal for the Steelers. And a 16-play, 9-minute, 18-second drive to start the game. Again, keeping it low. And again, fielded on a hop at the 10 by Atkinson. And he is brought down nicely by Sammy Coates, playing with a broken finger. On that left hand, the wide receiver making the stop. 14-yard gain by number 14 on the play. Back to Kessler when we come back. With NFL Mobile, stream live local Sunday afternoon primetime games and NFL Red Zone right on your mobile device. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. With Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, our terrific CBS crew in Cleveland. A lot of wind. You see the snow. 1st and 10 after the Steeler 32-yard field goal. Cody Kessler's been sitting about 20 minutes, and they get him. Bringing him down is Steven Tuitt. 2nd sack of the season for him. He becomes the focus of that line. A loss of 7. Rich back to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, good look at Tuitt right here. Just working on the right guard. Greco, and he gets the angle on him early and just beats him around the corner. Need a better set there by the guard, Greco.
They try to disguise where Tuitt lines up because he is so effective and they can overload on him.
And he's probably going to start seeing more double teams now that Cameron Hayward is no longer in the lineup.
And here on 2nd and 17 comes Crowell. Shazier there among a couple others. Cockrell making the stop. It's a gain of 5, and he's out to the 20.
Well, you look at Cleveland, Kevin, they have to be able to control the clock by running the football. It's their best chance. They've been throwing it way too much the last 6 weeks. And you look at Crowell, the first month of the season, he was one of the better backs in the game. He was on pace for over 1,500 yards. He had the highest yards per rush carry attempt, 6.5 yards. And then the last 5 or 6 weeks, for a number of reasons, they've been behind in games and they haven't had a lot of snaps. Less than 50 snaps a game in the last 2 weeks.
3rd down and 12, and here comes the big rush of Timmons. Lawrence Timmons coming through. So you have, and there goes Kessler. The ball is in the end zone. It was loose, and now the officials.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. It is not intentional grounding as number 29 was in the area.
So Stephon Tuitt comes in for a sack. Timmons closes out on that 3rd down rush, and the Browns in trouble.
Well, this is bad football. I mean, you don't even block Lawrence Timmons. I mean, this is just too easy. I mean, I think Timmons is just shocked. He's not even blocked. Cody Kessler has no chance. They're actually running a screen out the back door, but you have to account for the end man on the line of scrimmage. That's how quarterbacks get hurt in this league.
The Steelers, they just called it illegal use of hands on the play, so a penalty is against them. Kessler's shoulder looked like it was hurt. He was favoring it, and Mike Tomlin is upset. Watch the penalty again. Illegal hands here on Burns.
Yeah, Artie Burns has got those long arms. We had a great visit with him last night. What did Keith Butler, defensive coordinator, say? He's got to do a better job keeping his arms inside. He's been grabbing too much.
That's where the 1st and 10. Threading the needle right there. This is Hawkins breaking tackles into the secondary. Brought down to the play by the free safety, Mike Mitchell. A catch and run at 20, and Cleveland's out to their own 45.
This is what Hawkins gives you. He gives you some suddenness and some quickness. Not the biggest receiver, but a tough guy to tackle once you give him some space.
For the 1st and 10, and bobbled and incomplete. Looking for Pryor. Coverage on the play by Russ Cockrell.
It's been a tough month or so for Pryor. Kevin, remember he got off to such a great start the first month, and then I think teams began to figure him out and start directing more attention to Pryor. He's kind of their go-to guy. He's a smooth and explosive receiver, long strides, very good in the open field, good combination of speed and strength to create separation and run away from defenders. But that's the guy they want to focus on.
Ready!
The 2nd down and 10. It's Crowell with a block from Thomas, who came over to push. There's Timmons, who leads the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers in tackles, allowing only a gain of 2 out to the 47-yard line.
And the best way to help your young quarterback is to run the ball successfully. Hugh Jackson knows that, especially on the early downs, and really stay in manageable situations on 3rd down. You don't want to have big numbers on 3rd down against this Pittsburgh defense. That's where a lot of the exotic and unusual pressures show up when you study the Steelers.
Weather and wind in Cleveland. 3-0 Pittsburgh on a 32-yard field goal at the end of 1. Ball as we begin the 2nd quarter. 3rd and 8.
And this is where the rookie quarterback has to be sharp. We talked about all the unusual fronts. Same front we saw before with Timmons lined up outside on the line of scrimmage. There he is.
Down again he goes, and with their arms, Javon Hargrave, rookie, South Carolina State. They play him outside. When they play him the nickel, 2nd sack, Stephon Tuitt had the 1st. Hargrave right there, along with Timmons, and they throw him back for a loss of 10.
You see Timmons, but then Hargrave is going to be working up inside. You see he works back underneath the nose tackle, and quarterback's got no chance. You're seeing a lot of 6-man front. You're seeing a lot of 5- and 6-man pressures. A lot of teams have chosen to come after this young quarterback on 3rd down.
Here's the punt by Britton Colquitt, and deep back is Antonio Brown. And a nice bounce About 13 yards worth of roll for the Cleveland Browns on a 47-yard Colquitt punt. Ben Roethlisberger takes his team back out there. Moved him well the first time. Second possession coming up on CBS. Back in Cleveland, it's a comedy fest. You'll never forget when Matt LeBlanc organizes his first Thanksgiving. All new, man with the plan right after a new. Kevin can wait. Tomorrow, only CBS. Knicks in the backfield, along with Le'Veon Bell from the 17 after the Cleveland punt, 1st and 10. This is Bell with a block in there from Ramon Foster. He picks up 2. He's up to the 19-yard line. The hit by Cam Johnson.
A really good-looking first drive for Le'Veon Bell. He accounted for 79 of the Steelers' 87 yards. He can run outside. He's patient enough and powerful enough to run between the tackles. And as I say, Kevin, I think he is the best receiving back in the game. And they move him around. He'll play offset. They'll put him in the slot. They put him outside. He hasn't even begun to scratch the surface in terms of what he can do as a receiver.
Hey, tight.
Roethlisberger, 2nd down and 8, into the nickel, and he found the gap. Antonio Brown with a nice catch, 18-yard pickup. He's up to the Pittsburgh 37, knocked down by Kindred, 1st down Steelers.
Well, they move him around. You see a linebacker walked out on Antonio Brown. That's a lot to ask of Cam Johnson, and he knows he has help over the top, but I just think if you play against Antonio Brown, you have to put your best cover corner on him no matter where he goes and try and jam him and disrupt him at the line of scrimmage. Don't give him a free release.
Johnson in. 1st and 10. The fake to Bell, who offers a block, and a block by Johnson, and down they go, and incomplete. They were looking for Eli Rogers. The coverage by both Kindred and Taylor. Now let's take you to our CBS studios in New York and James Brown.
Andy Dalton helping his own call.
Yes, he is. He's going to keep this handoff and take it for the 2-yard touchdown. That caps a 13-play, 75-yard drive. The extra point was missed, 1 of 3 around the NFL today. Buffalo is up 7-6.
A.J. Green injured hamstring, first quarter, return questionable. Back to you guys.
A.J. Green, a terrific, and you can see with that loss to the Giants on Monday night, Cincinnati 3-5-1, and on the edge, outside looking in, 2nd down 10. This is Bell. Reynolds forces him out of bounds, making his 2nd start, and he takes the ball with a gain of 11 right there, up to the 48-yard line, and a 1st down and a bit of housekeeping. Moments ago, the completion by Roethlisberger means he passes Fran Tarkington for number 12 all-time in completed passes in the league.
That's a pretty good name to pass.
Yeah, it
As
sure
you start
is.
thinking about Hall of Famers, we had a great conversation with Ben last night. He's really not even aware of a lot of these statistics and these records that he's breaking. He's always focused on his one thing, putting his team in the best position to have a chance to win each week. He said, all I care about are wins and losses.
1st and 10. Castor with the block, and he tries in a very congested area to find room. Bell picks up a yard. Kirksey around his legs. He's out near midfield.
The run defense continues to be the issue, I think, Kevin, for this Cleveland defense. They're 31st. They're giving up just under 145 yards a game on the ground. They haven't tackled well enough as a unit. Now, the addition of Jamie Collins certainly helps, but good look at Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator, in the middle of your screen there with the white top on. He's talked about it, and it starts, any good defense, it starts with your ability to stop the run. Make a team like Pittsburgh one-dimensional.
Horton, the 2-time Steeler assistant coach, 2nd down and 9.
A lot of familiarity when you look at Cleveland on defense, according to Ben Roethlisberger.
Into the nickel. That's caught right there by Eli Rogers, who grabs another, had a touchdown reception against Dallas. He picks up 3, takes it down to the 48. Collins and Davis there with the stop on the Browns D.
You look at this Cleveland defense, you look at the history. Ray Horton worked under Dick LeBeau, coached with Dick LeBeau. He's got history as an assistant coach in Pittsburgh. So, as Ben told us last night, there are striking similarities to our own defense that we look at and practice against every day in practice when I study Cleveland on tape.
Hamilton in motion. 3rd and 6. The other night, there's Kobe Hamilton, who makes the grab. He's out of Arkansas, promoted to the active squad in mid-October, picks up 9. Rich, this has been a story with the tackle made by Taylor. They get down to the 39, but wide receiver depth and losing some big names has been a story for the Steeler offense this year.
Well, you're right, Kevin. It's Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, said last night, guys not named Antonio Brown need to step up and make some plays for us. And you think about Eli Rogers and Sammy Coates and Kobe Hamilton. These are young players that are learning on the job, but they have to grow up in a hurry because Antonio Brown gets so much attention when you look at all the double teams that he sees.
8th play of the drive. Bell on 1st and 10. Road grader up ahead of him was Gilbert. Gain of 5. Down to the 34-yard line. A couple making the stop there, including Davis. But you look at, Darius Hayward-Bay out with the mid-foot sprain. 1-year suspension for Martavis Bryant. Green just coming back, the tight end. Coates has been injured. Marcus Wheaton, he would put on IR yesterday.
Yeah, so they're banged up there, and it's a challenge for these young players, and it's also for the play callers. You look at Todd Haley to be able to trust, and I think for Ben Roethlisberger, Kevin, to be able to trust that the young players are going to do the right thing in a critical situation. You can't get fooled. Indecision hurts quarterbacks.
Kill it, Dave.
Well, pushing guys. There goes a flag.
Ben was trying to change the play.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
A little bit of movement there by the Pro Bowler David DeCastro. Sometimes when you suddenly try and change the plays, you kill it. Kill it from one play to the next, as you heard Ben say, kill. Sometimes you get that sudden, just a little movement there by the right guard. That's why a lot of times I used to say easy. Let everyone know something's coming.
At the line,
At the line of scrimmage, because you don't want that they get really antsy, those linemen inside, especially on the road.
2nd down and 10. Fake to Bell. They get the tight end, James. And he was stopped in the play by Jamie Collins, among others, with a catch there of 5. He's down to the 34-yard line. James, 29th catch of the season, the tight end.
Pittsburgh's a good screen team. I think there's a couple reasons why, Kevin. We talked earlier about the offensive line, Pouncey and DeCastro, guys that are athletic that can get out and run. But also you have a quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger that's very patient. He draws the rush. He pumps away from the rush. And he really freezes you as a defensive player. Now all of a sudden out the back door goes Le'Veon Bell or Jesse James. They have a ton of screens.
He extends the drive, extends the play.
He does a great job holding the rush, drawing the rush to him, and then flicking it out.
No one is going to get hit. 3rd and 5 here. Going away with the block at the left tackle. Catch by Hamilton. Ed Kirksey, who is defending at about the 32-yard line, shy of the 1st, picks up 2.
They're going to go for it.
On 4th down, you're right.
You got the wind in their face, and these are decisions you make. A lot of the decisions are made before the game. You watch these kickers warm up. You get a good look at Chris Boswell. You have that conversation with them. If you're Mike Tomlin, you say, what's your range like today? And with the wind in your face, this is probably a good decision by the Steelers.
They need the 29. 4th and 3.
The alert for the crossing routes versus all this man-to-man coverage.
Roethlisberger, and he's got the first. If the progress takes him down inside the 29, Antonio Brown with a gain of 4 on 4th and 3. Collins, Hayden there, and Markham just outside the 28 of Cleveland.
You always have to be alert for where Antonio Brown is. And what they do here is you see the two go out initially, and then watch Antonio Brown. He's just going to come off the ball and find a little opening. He just uses that wedge, that screen in front of him, to be able to create some separation between himself and the defenders. It's a good job positioning Antonio Brown on the back end of that bunch.
Chris Hubbard is an extra offensive lineman on the right side. 7-minute drive. 1st and 10.
180.
Bell with the block right there by the tight end, David Johnson. And he's stopped in the secondary by Reynolds, and Le'Veon Bell down to the 18-yard line. A 10-yard gain and close to a 1st down. They give it to him. They move the chains again.
Well, you're going to see David Johnson. He's going to come over and get the kick-out block. And watch the patience of Le'Veon Bell, who starts down to the right. Then you see the explosiveness right through the hole. That's a good-looking hole. And that's been the problem so far, Kevin, when you look at this Cleveland defense. Le'Veon Bell is getting 2 or 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage before he's even running in We're getting close to a Cleveland defender. Too much space
You're gonna come back. See.
between the ball carrier and the defender.
280. Look up.
1st and 10, Bell. Hesitation, which you've been talking about, and finally wrapped up on the play by Paya, Stephen Paya. Played last year for the Redskins, gain of 3 down to the 15-yard line. And what makes this interesting about Bell, suspended the first 3 games of the year, but I don't know if there's another back that has, Rich, that kind of patience once he gets it. He's willing to let things develop in front of him.
That's the key, I think, with him. And just in talking to other defensive coordinators around the league, they say that you have to be patient as well on the other side. You can't overcommit. You have to set the edge. And he's a counterpuncher. He waits for you to commit first, and then he bounces it, backside. So you have to be patient. This front 7 has to play well. Those guys in the orange jersey, you've got to keep an eye on 26.
14th play of the drive, the pump by Ben, looking deep, and he's going out of the end zone. There was coverage by Taylor. They were going for Green, who they signed as the big free agent acquisition from San Diego's, but missed most of the season. 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, he's going to, now that he's healthy, I think they feel real good about getting Green in the lineup. But you have to hold your coverage. That's the book on Ben Roethlisberger. Probably no better quarterback in the game at extending plays, and I think that's where Ben Roethlisberger is most dangerous once he gets outside the pocket. His accuracy down the field, off the scramble, as good as we'll see in the game.
Their first drive was 16 plays. This is the 15th play of their second drive. 3rd down and 7. Roethlisberger hit as he throws, deflected and incomplete off the fingertips of Kirksey, and the big pressure by Danny Shelton, steamrolling up the middle, and Roethlisberger hoisted up and shaken up perhaps. And they're going to have to settle for 3 again, and the defense of Cleveland holds them out.
What's the big hit by Shelton? We talked about him, Kevin, as a run stopper. He can anchor and he can win against double teams, but he's becoming a better pass rusher. He just rides Big Ben right to the ground.
That's a lot of 55 on you, man. Oh man, that's a big kid.
That'll knock the wind right out of you. Then he gives him a nice little shove just because.
Here's a 33-yard field goal try, which makes it 6-0. Boswell has hit 7 straight, 2 today from 32 and 33 yards. Fans, be the first to know your team's news with the CBS Sports app. Get instant updates, expert analysis, highlights, and more. Download the CBS Sports app today. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, you're in Cleveland. You're with the wind chill. It's about 23 degrees. The snow, as you can see. The ensuing kickoff after 2 straight field goals by the Pittsburgh Steelers on 2 consecutive 16-play drives. Browns will get it back on a chilly day on this Thanksgiving week on CBS. A lot of plays, a lot of time, not a lot of scoring. They've had 2 red zone, Rich, and 2 field goals from the Pittsburgh offense so far.
Yeah, but 2 16-play drives, they've got to feel good about that. Kevin, certainly time of possession has to be a concern for Cleveland. They get something going here on this drive.
It's Corey Coleman who gets the ball on a quick tackle made by the rookie out of Maryland, Sean Davis. He's seeing more time along with Artie Burns. It's a gain of 4. They're out to the 29.
It's one of the struggles that Cleveland has had. They need more opportunities. You look at the last 2 games, just 44 offensive snaps against the Cowboys, just 48 against the Ravens.
Money.
Just 13 plays so far in this one.
Ready.
With a 2nd down and 6, Duke Johnson is in. Blocked by Barnidge. He'll slash, and he's hit by Timmons, and then drilled in the secondary by Mitchell. It's a burst of 12. He's got a 1st down to the Cleveland 41.
Well, you look at the last 2 weeks, we talked about that, and you're calling plays, you're looking for opportunities. Their struggles have been on 3rd down, and they've gotten behind in games. They've had to throw the football. Stay out in front of the down and distance.
Johnson remains 1st and 10 for Cody Kessler. Right through the hands again. 2nd drop by rookie Corey Coleman. Incomplete to New York, and here is James.
Indy has owned Tennessee.
Yes, they have. With a 14-point lead on 4th and goal, they decide to go for it. Look at this catch by T.Y. Hilton. Miraculous 2-yard touchdown catch. 10 of 11, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns for Andrew Luck. 21-0 to Indy's all over Tennessee.
Indy has won 10 straight against them. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
Big game in the South.
Yeah, you talk about a team that their ability to handle a little bit of success. Tennessee's struggling right now.
With a second down and 10, Cody Kessler. 3-year starter at SC. Look out! Arthur Moats. Second sack. Started the first 5 games. He's been rotating with Chicolo, who has been starting the last couple. Third sack by this Pittsburgh D, back to the 30-yard line.
And you look at the pressure from outside. The tackles have to play well in this one, and even the tight ends. I mean, you look at the tight end there in that situation. Telfer, he's got to do a better job holding his edge. Cody Kessler can't hold the football against this Pittsburgh defense. The second, third hitch will get you every time. The ball has to come out on time.
Now 3rd and 21 with the draw play to Duke Johnson bouncing. And Shazier finally was the one to get him, along with the hit by Davis. They lose 2. The boos begin cascading down onto the field. They're back at the 28, and the punting unit takes the field for the winless Browns, who have also, coming in, have lost 13 consecutive games going back to last year and 20 of their last 21.
It was a bad-looking drive. 3 and outs are demoralizing to a football team, and Kevin, it really started with the drop. You look at Corey Coleman, his second drop of the day. He's going to do a better job keeping his eyes on the ball and squeezing it.
Britton Colquitt. There's a flag. Antonio Brown lets it bounce and roll. Flag is thrown back at the 25. In fact, a couple flags thrown back at the 25-yard line. It's a punt with a good roll of 56 yards.
Well, special teams have been a problem for Cleveland as well. Turn units haven't been very good.
Holding, kicking team number 54. 10-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
54 is Dominique Alexander. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers have had the Cleveland Browns number. They've won 2 straight, 6 of 7, 22 of 25. And here's that play.
Right in the middle of your screen.
Yes, he is, holding Shazier.
Boy, Shazier is such a good player. Isn't it great to see him? You talk about your best defensive player now making plays in the kicking game. It's important to these guys. They want to be involved in some unit of special teams. And Shazier is an explosive player. He's a tough guy to block.
He had a knee injury.
Seems to be around the football.
He had that knee injury, Rich, earlier in the season. He missed 4 games.
He's flying around right now.
He is. Colquitt, who they got after they traded Andy Lee, the Pro Bowler, to Carolina. Antonio Brown, only a 3-8 hang time there. And here they come. That may have been an illegal block. That may have been an illegal block. But there is no yellow on the field, and he spins his way for 7 after the 48-yard punt. We are at the 2-minute warning. 1:51 to go with a couple of Steeler field goals. Back in windy Cleveland, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for scores, news, and highlights coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. From our CBS studios in New York, you see the horizontal snow, 30-mile-an-hour winds, the wind chill making it 23. 3rd possession for Roethlisberger after 2 16-play drives. Bell to Castro the block, and he is spun down by Collins, the expatriate, out about the 47. He picks up 6 on first down. Steelers and Browns both with 3 timeouts apiece.
This is where Pittsburgh is so good. The 2-minute offense, maybe the best in the league, very good. At the end of the half, they've scored 24 points in this situation.
The second down and 5. And a block right there from Villanueva. And he is brought down in the secondary by a couple, including Kindred. Gain of 7. First down, timeout Pittsburgh. They get to the 47-yard line of the Browns, and 1:19 to play in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart. Find gifts, groceries, and more this season. McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Steelers just took a timeout. 3rd possession today with a couple field goals. 16 play drives. It is a first down. Nickel secondary awaiting Roethlisberger. With time and swings it to the side. Caught by Antonio Brown. Hayden is there. The gain near the 26. With a pinpoint throw with a lot of wind to deal with. It's a 21-yard pickup and a first down for Pittsburgh.
And this is the matchup we've been talking about. 2 Pro Bowlers going at it. Really nice route there. Look at him turn the corner. Joe Hayden That's not an easy throw from Ben Roethlisberger. Kevin, you talk about the win. I think the hardest throws are those deep out-breaking routes outside the numbers. And Ben does a nice job setting his feet, driving that one down the field.
Hey, lefty, lefty!
First and 10. Roethlisberger, Bell, brought down by Alga, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. It is a gain of 4. So, Rich, here they huddle up quickly. Steelers have lost 4 in a row, yet they're only 1 game out of first place. They're moving in on their 3rd possession with good field position here.
If you look at the division, though, Kevin, 3 weeks ago, Pittsburgh was in the lead, and Baltimore was coming off of a stretch where they lost 4 in a row. I think this is going to go down to the wire between Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati.
2nd down, 6. Underneath. Out by Eli Rogers. Hit on the play by Jamar Taylor, playing with a groin injury, limited this week in practice. Picks up 4. He gets to the 18. A timeout taken. 34 seconds in the first half. Steelers just used their 2nd timeout. Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB and Company scores, news, highlights. The Verizon Halftime from our New York studios coming up after this. So, Rich, biggest play on this drive, a 21-yard pass to Brown, 3rd and 2. 2 red zone possessions today for the Steelers. They've had to settle for 2 field goals.
Yeah, you look at Cleveland, Kevin. They've given up some plays defensively, but when they've gotten down in this part of the field, they've tightened things up and held Pittsburgh to a couple field goals. They've been on the field for over 20 minutes. Their offense has struggled, and yet it's still just a 6-0 game.
Toussaint is in for the first time, 3rd and 2. He releases. Congestion. Roethlisberger gets it off to Bell. Hurries out of bounds. Forced that way by Taylor. Runs out of bounds. Has the first down. He gets to the 13-yard line at Cleveland. He effectively stops the clock at 27 seconds on a gain of 5.
You know, I think his feel for the rush and his pocket mobility are uncanny. When he's under duress, he's not like most quarterbacks who are just looking for a quick answer throw. He keeps his eyes down the field. I mean, that is an incredible throw by Ben Roethlisberger in a tight situation. He never gives up on a play. That's what I love about Ben Roethlisberger.
1st and 10. Time. Bell. Forced out of bounds by Jamie Collins. He gets close to the 10. He picks up 2. Mark him at the 11.
You look at
21. 1 timeout remaining for Pittsburgh.
Excuse me, Kevin. You look at how Pittsburgh's attacking. They're trying to attack in the middle of the field with their running back right now against the Cleveland linebackers. That's been a huge advantage really all season for Pittsburgh, but Cleveland's got to figure out how to account for Le'Veon Bell out of the backfield. He's already got 7 catches in this game.
6 straight completions for Roethlisberger. 2nd down and 8. And he looks for Hamilton with the coverage by Bobby Calhoun. Kobe Hamilton could not grab it. 3rd down. Boy, you're winless like Hugh Jackson. You're looking for small victories. The defense really has not played that bad, have they, Rich?
No, especially early in games, Kevin. The problem that they've had is putting 2 halves of football together. We saw them a couple weeks ago against the Jets. They were terrific. Even Thursday night against the Ravens, they held them to a couple field goals in the first half.
3rd and 8. And they go to the side again. This is caught by Eli Rogers. Ripped down that time by Joe Hayden. He's inside the 5, put him at the 3. Looks like he's got the first on a gain of about 8. Let's see where they stop it. A timeout taken. 8 seconds to play. We step aside just before halftime.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Eli Rogers did get the first down. 1st and goal. What's going through the head of Roethlisberger with 10 seconds to play in the half?
No timeouts, Kevin. He's got at least 1 shot and maybe 2, depending on what they do. I'm curious to see whether or not he takes the snap from under center. That would put the ball in his hands a little bit quicker. but he likes to play. He likes to play from the gun. We know that. It depends upon how quickly he can get the ball out, whether or not he'd have another shot for a second down play before they try a field goal.
Two tight ends, James and Green, bottom of your screen. Watch for 84. He is their red zone guy, Antonio Brown. First and goal. Good block by Villanueva to the end zone. Through the fingertips of Kobe Hamilton. Would have been tough. Nice coverage in the secondary by Jamar Taylor. Incomplete. The clock at 5 seconds.
All right, now he's got 5 seconds. He's got to throw the ball quickly. The ball has to come out right away. If not, if he holds it as much as he did right here, they're not going to get a chance to attempt the field goal. So this one's going to come out quick. Look for a fade or a quick ball to the back of the end zone.
Le'Veon Bell.
That's the guy you look at.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell.
There he is, bottom of your screen.
There he is.
Brown on top. Second down and goal.
Quick fade route. I'd rather throw this from under center. I get the grip. I get the ball in my hands a little bit quicker.
Going for it all right here and incomplete. Looking for Brown. Coverage by Reynolds. And zeros on the clock, and they come up empty. And Cleveland does it again. A flag.
Boy, that's if
a flag has been thrown.
I think they're checking to see if there's any time left on the clock. There's a flag in the back of the end zone, but Kevin, regardless, that was a bad.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 20. That's half the distance to the goal.
How about
Automatic first down.
And a play.
We will extend the half for one on time down.
On rookie Brian Body Calhoun.
Well, regardless, Kevin, that was a bad sequence of events for Pittsburgh. You had 10 seconds on the clock. And had you not had the penalty, it would have been the end of the half. You wouldn't have given your kicker a chance. And now what's surprising to me is they're going to get first down with no time on the clock. And instead of trying to kick the field goal, they're going to try and go for it. This is an aggressive call. Remember last week, Mike Tomlin went for 4 two-point conversions. And at the end of that game, that was a big factor in the fact that the Dallas Cowboys only needed a field goal and not a touchdown to win that game.
Bell is a receiver. Bottom of your screen, Brown on top, untimed down, first and goal at the 1.
I think this is a mistake. Regardless of what happens, I think you kick the field goal in this situation.
Fake to Bell, incomplete, and another flag. And this one goes on Hayden, climbing on the back of the receiver, Antonio Brown, so we'll have another untimed down.
And he didn't need to do it. He was in great position. I don't think that Antonio Brown would have been able to catch this ball. Joe Hayden had great position, but he panics and he grabs the back shoulder of Antonio Brown.
Pass interference, defense number 23. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 1 yard line. Automatic first down. We'll extend the half due to the defensive foul.
He's in great position, but that left arm gets him. He puts it right across the chest of Antonio Brown. Not the end of the world, right?
Right.
Just moves the ball up a couple feet. Still got to stop him here, though.
Another untimed down coming up to conclude our first half. The defense of the Browns have kept the Steelers out in 2 red zone possessions today. This is the 3rd. It's first and goal at the 1.
And they've been on the field, Kevin, for over 20 minutes, this Cleveland defense.
Well, the reason why they've stopped play here, people are throwing things out of the end zone, the dog pound, onto the field. And, you know, they will penalize the team if this continues.
Well, again, you got to look for Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. I mean, those are the 2 players that usually get the ball in this part of the field. Some confusion up top.
Bell, touchdown! Led by Villanueva and the left side, and it finally pays off on a 1 yard touchdown run by Le'Veon Bell. That defense held and held and held. And then 2 penalties in the end zone, which would have effectively ended the half. Kept it alive with 2 untimed downs for the Pittsburgh offense.
Well, you're going to see the first penalty. Well, you see the run.
Now they'll try for 2. Before Dallas, they were 14 of 17. Dallas, as you see right there, 0 of 4. Rich talked about it just seconds ago. Trying for 2. Two-point conversion try, and it is reeled in, caught. David Johnson in only his 4th catch of the year. And how about that? Pittsburgh holds on a couple red zones against a very hungry Pittsburgh team. The Cleveland defense gives it up.
Let's look at the first 2 penalties. In the slot, Roethlisberger's able to extend the play. You see the hold there on Eli Rogers. Ben just throws it away thinking there's 1 second left on the clock. And then the last one, the slant route to Antonio Brown. You see the veteran Joe Hayden. He's just going to grab the left shoulder of Antonio Brown. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers finishing it with a 2-point conversion. Great concentration by the tight end, David Johnson, on the little angle route.
Unfortunately for Cleveland, they've been outscored by 100 points in the different games they have played so far this season, 151-51. Pittsburgh trying to stop a 4-game losing streak. They're within a game of first place. They lead at halftime, 14-0 on CBS. The Pittsburgh Steelers had 3 red zone possessions in the first half. They do get a touchdown, an untimed down, and a 1-yard touchdown run by their back, Le'Veon Bell. Taking a look at the first half, fresh start presented by Febreze. Walking ahead by Villanueva and others, and Bell takes it in for the touchdown. So Mike Tomlin brings his team in, having lost 4 straight in a tough one last week to the Dallas Cowboys. Kevin Harlan with Rich Gannon. Let's revisit just what happened there with those untimed downs. They decided to go for the touchdown as opposed to the field goal, speaking of the Steelers.
Really an aggressive decision by Mike Tomlin. Rather than go up 9, he decided to go for it with the untimed down. I just think it's the confidence that he has in his veteran quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, to get the job done in that part of the field. But, Kevin, you look at this, the first half, I mean, it's been dominated by Pittsburgh, and you look at the first half stats. I mean, look at the total yards, time of possession. I mean, Le'Veon Bell alone, he's got 135 yards of offense. The Cleveland Browns have just 50. Now, the key, 3rd down. Cleveland's got to get off the field on 3rd down defensively, and offensively, they've got to convert a 3rd down. Hugh Jackson's got to find a way to generate some offense here in the second half, or his defense will be in big trouble. They've been on the field way too much here in this first half.
Toussaint, along with Coates, for deep back. They leave it in the end zone, so out to the 25-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 for Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Adjustments in the second half.
Well, I like what Pittsburgh has done, Kevin, especially on 3rd down. They've had a lot of 5- and 6-man pressures, really forcing Cody Kessler to make some quick decisions, continue to be aggressive, keep getting after that young quarterback. For Cleveland, offensively, they've got to be able to generate some offense and convert a 3rd down or 2 to keep a drive alive. Just 1 of 4 in the first half on 3rd down.
2 tight ends and an extra lineman. Chris Hubbard is on the left side in a 1st and 10 with the first play of the second half. Le'Veon Bell pulling the tight end, and he works it out. A flag is thrown, tackled by Kirksey. There's a 9-yard gain by Bell.
Holding. Offense. Number 86. 10-yard penalty. First down.
You say 86. There is no 86.
Well, you look at those first half possessions. I mean, you love 10-plus play drives. They've had 3 of them, and you look at all 3 possessions have resulted in points for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Problem is they're not scoring quick enough.
True.
It's taking over 9 minutes to score points, and they've got to be able to finish, obviously, down in the red zone. Disappointment on the first 2 possessions. They had to settle for field goals. But other than that, it's been a pretty good-looking report card, Kevin, for Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers in the first half. Okay. Especially Le'Veon Bell, who's been outstanding.
1st and 20. Antonio Brown, and a good beat on him there with the linebacker. Kirksey making the stop, leading tackler on this Cleveland defense. He gets a gain of 3 up to the 18-yard line. Rich, the wind direction, and it's hard to read in these stadiums from the telltales on top of the uprights, but how does that affect a quarterback when he deals with gusts of over 30 miles an hour like we've had today.
I think you're always aware of it on the field. I think the play callers are aware of it. Certainly it impacts how you call a game. But if you look at what Pittsburgh's done, Kevin, a lot of it has been quick throws to Antonio Brown out of the backfield. Le'Veon Bell out of the backfield, and Antonio Brown on those quick slant and underneath routes against this Cleveland defense.
With a 2nd and 17, slings it, and he's looking for Hamilton, and the coverage on the play by Buddy Calhoun. He was let go by Jacksonville. Undrafted player out of the University of Minnesota has come back and earned a starting role in the secondary for Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator Ray Horton.
We've talked about the quick throws from Ben Roethlisberger. The wind really affects the downfield throws more, and I think we haven't seen as many from Roethlisberger. A great job spreading out this Cleveland defense. A lot of different formations and personnel groupings.
It's 3rd and 17, looking into the nickel. This is Le'Veon Bell being chased, and Buddy Calhoun throws him out of bounds. He had to get to the 35 for the first, and he picks up 8 on the play. So it's 4th down, and here comes the punting unit for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You got to ask yourself, is Jordan Berry even warmed up? He didn't punt at all in the first half.
That's right.
Obviously, he came out early and kicked some before the start of the second half, but that's a good half of football. And it's a good way to start, Kevin, for Cleveland defensively. They finally get off the field on 3rd down, get some good field position here, give their offense a chance.
Jordan Berry to Duke Johnson on the 32, hang time of 4-1. And look who's riding him down, Sammy Coates. Broken fingers and all, got him on the play. Cleveland gets it when we come back, 43-yard punt. The defense of the Steelers pitching a shutout, 13:05 in the 3rd. You see the first half resume for the Cleveland Browns. We're now in the 3rd and a 14-0 lead for Pittsburgh.
Let's go.
Cody Kessler.
Ready.
With the 1st and 10, here's Duke Johnson. Little flea flicker. Harrison blocked. Here comes Tuitt. Stephon Tuitt once again is all over him. You know, the Steeler defense, Rich, has 3 sacks today. They only had 13 coming in, which was dead last in the NFL, but they put pressure on Kessler today.
They tried to flea flicker. You see Tuitt right at the bottom of your screen. I mean, they're trying to block him with a tight end, Kevin. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. I mean, he is a handful. It requires a little bit more attention than to stick a tight end over on him.
Here's another question for you. Where is Isaiah Crowell? He's disappeared. They've been a lot of Duke Johnson in that backfield. Pistol. 2nd and 10. Pastor the block. Duke Johnson outside. Shazier is there. Rushes them out of bounds near midfield. They pick up 3 and put him right at the 50-yard line.
You know, you had a chance to visit with assistant head coach Pep Hamilton, who works very closely with Hugh Jackson in terms of putting the game plan together each week. And he said, once again, the biggest challenge, they haven't had a lot of continuity, Kevin. They haven't been able to establish an identity on offense with so many young players around that quarterback. That just compounds the situation.
Right.
3rd and 6. He looks into the nickel. Thomas the block on Harrison. Up the middle, they got the 1st down. Duke Johnson chased by Timmons. And brought down by Mitchell in the secondary. A catch and run of 22. They take it to the 29 of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We're just going to run a little angle route, and they get him matched up on the linebacker, Lawrence Timmons. He's actually coming from the other side. That's a tough assignment for Timmons. They're showing pressure one way, the Bell, and the other way, and I don't know how sound that was to ask Timmons to cover Duke Johnson from the other side of the field.
Crowell is in. With the 1st and 10, first play, they run in Pittsburgh territory today. Kessler going deep and looking for some separation was Coleman. And he was defended by fellow rookie Artie Burns, who already has a pick today with the incompletion.
I think Artie Burns is going to be a good one, Kevin, once he gets it all figured out. He's got that size, the length that you love at that position, the long arms. Still working on his technique, and every chance he gets in practice, he goes and finds 84. He tries to line up and cover Antonio Brown. That's great work for the young corner.
Hey, 94.
Seems to be playing with more and more confidence. I thought he did, for the most part, really handled himself well last week against Des Bryant.
Second down and 10. This is Crowell. Chicolo makes the stop along with a couple others. A gain of a yard. They're down to the 27. The one thing Burns told us last night when we talked to him, he says, William Gay has been very, very helpful. And in essence, Gay has been the one demoted to the slot corner, and Burns has taken his place.
And that's what happens. You know, it's the good news for Mike Thomas. You got veteran players that are willing to be mentors and help in the development of young players like Artie Burns, their first-round pick out of Miami.
Monday. Should go.
Looking into the nickel on a third down and 9. Thomas the block on Harrison. That's off the fingertips of the Pro Bowl tight end, Gary Barnidge. With the coverage on the play by a couple for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the incompletion.
Well, you need a better throw here. You got to put it on the right shoulder, his left shoulder, not his right shoulder. You got to throw him away from the defender. He had some separation on Shazier, but not an accurate enough throw from the rookie Cody Kessler.
Shazier with the coverage. Now, Rich, 4th down and 9, and they're going to go for it.
This is an aggressive call as well, Kevin. You're not talking about 4th and 2 or 4th and 4 or less. You're talking about 4th and a long 9 against a pretty good defense that's done a really good job getting pressure on your young quarterback, and here they come again.
4th and 9, 5 in the secondary. Kessler wobbles it and caught! Pryor around Mitchell inside the 5. Mark him at the 1. 26-yard connection from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. Terrell Pryor.
Well, this is the matchup that they wanted. Pryor's been quiet in the first half, but he has the size that you love and the ability to go high point a ball. And Cockrell's never able to find the ball. They pressured him, and they got the look that they want outside.
Cockrell with the coverage. Extra tight ends. 1st and goal. Isaiah Crowell stopped behind the line. Big play. Daniel McCullers. He played the most of any game this season last week against Dallas. Throws him for a 2-yard loss and put him back at about the 3-4 line.
Boy, penetration, just the back had no chance. Both of those defensive linemen were 2 yards in the backfield.
This defense is number 2. This Pittsburgh defense, number 2 in red zone defense.
And this is 4-down territory. I mean, they already went for it on 4th down, Kevin, so they've got 3 more shots here inside the 5.
2nd goal, 3. And they got him. And it looks like Harrison with the sack, which would be an all-time Steeler record. Passing Jason Gilden. It is a sack in the 4th. Authored by the Pittsburgh defense today, loss of 5.
Well, you're asking your guard to go out there and block one of the best pass rushers that the Steelers have, and he's late getting out there, and he's not able to set the edge and really set his base. And you look at James Harrison, he just walks the left guard, Drango, right into the lap of Cody Kessler.
The stat became official in '82. He's got the most in Steeler history, and boy, have they had some outstanding sackers. Yep, the rookie Drango could not control him. Now 3rd and goal and a timeout.
Confusion.
Yep.
And Kevin, if you don't convert here on 3rd down, I think you kick the field goal. You need to get some points. You need to finish a drive with some points. It's still early in the football game here. But again, it's hard to tell. When you have a team that's this desperate, that's 0-10, it's doing everything they can to try and find a way to get a win. Desperate teams do desperate things.
Steeler defense tightening the screws. There's a look at James Harrison. Only his 2nd sack, his 2nd year starting over the last couple years.
Well, they've had so many great outside linebackers over the years. A lot of them have worn number 92. Joey Porter, who's on the sidelines today for the Steelers as an assistant coach. And that's really, you talk about great Steeler defenses. There he is. Joey coaches that group. The ability to rush from the edge and be disruptive and not allow quarterbacks to set their feet and get comfortable in the pocket.
3rd start for Harrison over the last 2 seasons. Taking the place of the demoted Jarvis Jones. 3rd and goal at the 8. Kessler, Stephon Tuitt got him. And then falling on and make sure, Javon Hargrave. He picked up a yard. It is not a sack. He got down to the 6. And here comes the field goal unit for Hugh Jackson.
I think it's the right decision, Kevin. I mentioned it before the play. I think that, you've got to, you need something positive to happen. You have to find a way to put some points on the board. We would like to obviously cut the lead, made it a one-score game, but you can't let this one get away from you. And the other thing is your defense was able to come out in the second half and get a stop.
So here's Cody Parkey. They signed him week 3 against Miami, replacing the injured Patrick Murray. There's a 24-yard field goal try, and he gets it. They had it first and goal at the 1. They settle for 3, but they're on the board with 8:05 to play in the third on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement. And by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days.
Right next door, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opened in 1995 in Cleveland, in part due to Alan Freed, who was a Cleveland disc jockey, credited with coining the phrase rock and roll. WJW Cleveland. Here's the ensuing kickoff. After Parkey just belted one from 24 yards to put the Browns on the board. That's out of the end zone. A touchback into the 25. Another opportunity for Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. 8:05 in the third. On Tuesday, the Browns congratulated students from Central Middle School of Euclid for being the top class in the Browns Play 60 Challenge. They received a special tour of the Browns facility and an exclusive Play 60 session in the team's field house. After the 24-yard field goal by the Browns, first points of the game, here comes Roethlisberger from his own 25. Second half possession, 1st and 10. Fake to Bell, but dropped by Bell. 2nd and 10. Watching tape of Roethlisberger, Rich, like you've done over the last 10 days. What's the tape telling you about his game?
Well, he plays the game so fast. He makes such quick decisions. I don't think he's holding the ball as much or as long as he has in the past. I think early in his career, every play seemed like a broken play. It's no longer the case. I think his anticipation's so much better. You see so many more rhythm throws, and you still see the occasional mad scramble, but not nearly as often. I mean, he's making quick decisions, and the ball is coming out on time and in rhythm.
Hubbard, the extra lineman. Johnson, the tight end. 2nd down 10, they're on the right side. Johnson is pulling. And Bell, slippery Le'Veon Bell. Out of bounds, Reynolds on the near side. He picks up 7 yards on the play, and they'll put him just outside the 30.
Well, you talk about trying to get this guy on the ground. There's a good player right there. He swings it and misses another one. Le'Veon Bell, you think about how quick he is and the speed, the straight line speed, but how about the power and how big of a guy he is? He is a really good finisher, and he can handle the workload. You look at what he's done already in this game. 18 carries, 7 receptions.
Nice up. Vertical.
Roethlisberger with a 3rd down and 3. They get around Villanueva, and he got it off to Bell. He's got the 1st down, too. Racing over there is Jamar Taylor picking up 4. It may be safe to say, Rich, that when he's at the top of his game, there may not be a better overall running back than Le'Veon Bell and what he does.
He's a complete player at the position. We know about him as a runner. We know what he can do. Look at that. Fewest negative runs, so there's not a lot of, as much as he moves and as much how patient he is, there's not the negative runs. So we know how good of a runner he is. We see him as a receiver and what he can do. Cleveland's had no answer for him, and I think where he's maybe improved the most, Kevin, is his ability to sit in there and be a personal protector for Ben Roethlisberger in the passing game.
1st and 10. The Castro pulls. Johnson pulls. And then wiggling his way for 4. Le'Veon Bell out to the 41-yard line. Brought down by Meter. Tomorrow on an all-new late show, Stevens got the star of TV's #1 news show, Bulls' Michael Weatherly. All new Colbert tomorrow on CBS. Rich, has the weather played factor with this game as much as you thought, or about what you thought?
I think so, Kevin. I mean, I think certainly the Steelers have handled it better, and you would expect that with a veteran quarterback like Ben Roethlisberger, who grew up in in the Ohio area, used to playing in these conditions, whereas Cody Kessler grew up in California. Kevin, he's standing over there on the sidelines. His defense has been on the field the entire game, and he's freezing.
2nd down, 6, Bell. Saw the blockers being held. A nice block there, too, by Jesse James, the tight end. Takes it out close to a first down at the 47. Give him 6. Let's go to James in New York.
Tony, this is a highlight.
Yes, it is right here. Blake Bortles is going to drop back. He's going to throw the ball a little bit behind, and guess who's going to come up? That's Raphael Bush. And then watch this. Nifty moves by the young man, getting back, dodging, ducking, and diving, and scores the touchdown for the Detroit Lions. They are up 16-9.
Kevin, if you heard in the background noise, that was an excited Bill Cowher coming into the studio. Back to Kevin Harlan.
I like that.
Another pick 6 for Blake Bortles. You and I saw one last week, Kevin, against Houston.
Yeah, he's struggling. 1st and 10. Bell, James a block, and then finally tied up, it looked like, by Joe Schobert, who's a rookie out of Wisconsin, allowing just to gain a 2 near the 49. Meter had a hand on him as well. Rich, there was a lot of talk out of Pittsburgh this week about discipline, the lack thereof, and the lack of accountability, things that even the quarterback and the coach brought up.
Yeah, but when you visit with Ben Roethlisberger last night and Todd Haley and Mike Tomlin, you didn't get the sense that this is a team that's in disarray. I think that they're disappointed they haven't played more efficiently on both sides of the ball. You know, they had that game 1 last week, Kevin, against the Cowboys. They give the ball back with, I think, less than 45 seconds to go. They make a couple mistakes, and they lose that game. They're just making some critical mistakes in critical situations.
Lost at 35-30. Antonio Brown across the middle and finds some room. Hit on the play by Buddy Calhoun and others. It's a gain of 11. A catch and run goes to the 40 and picked up by Reynolds, too.
We talked about the patience of Le'Veon Bell. How about the patience of Antonio Brown as a route runner? Joe Hayden has had his hands full. It's been a pretty good matchup to watch. For the most part, Hayden's been able to keep Antonio Brown in front of him.
How about these long drives by the Steelers today? Here's another one we're in the midst of.
We're just methodically going down the field with Le'Veon Bell in the running game and the passing game. Mix in a quick slant every once in a while to Antonio Brown. And Roethlisberger's making great decisions, Kevin, with the football.
Here's chased and he throws, and there he is once again. Antonio Brown, 3 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, 13-yard pickup, first down.
We talked about the matchup, and times you got to give Joe Hayden some help. This is a really good route, the out-breaking route. He gets the veteran cornerback turned around, and then he's in good position here, but he just panics and grabs the back shoulder of Antonio Brown, which extends the half and gives the Pittsburgh Steelers another crack at it. They went on to score to make it 14-0 at the half. The thing about Antonio Brown, Kevin, he seems to get stronger as the game goes on. He has the most fourth quarter catches right now in football.
Here's Bell with over 100 yards on the ground. With a 1st and 10, Shelton with a stop and a gain of 2 down to the 25-yard line. Antonio Brown, number 1 in the league, coming in receptions, number 4 in receiving yards, and Brown, number 3 in receiving touchdowns. And he's coming off, Rich, a 136 reception season a year ago, over 1,800 receiving yards last year.
He's a beast, and I loved the visit last night with Todd Haley when he said, he's got that me against the world mentality. He's never satisfied. He wants to be the best there ever was. It's really what drives him every day in practice. He brings it every time he straps on the helmet.
With a 2nd down and 8 right here for Ben Roethlisberger. Moves up, slings a pass, and it's incomplete. There's a flag. Kirksey was watching the tight end, David Johnson. He got the 2-point conversion with no time remaining in the first half.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 58. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
He's the leading tackler in the NFL, Christian Kirksey, out of Iowa in his 3rd season for the Cleveland Browns.
And he's been a pretty productive player, Kevin, in the middle of that defense. You see right in the bottom of your screen, right there, the matchup, right in the middle of the field. He's in good position. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't know if he's grabbing the back of the jersey. You can see him right the right part of your screen up here. Maybe always grabbing the jersey, right in the right shoulder, the right hand there in the back of the jersey. Usually you get away with that one.
6-minute drive. Bill on 1st and 10. Poncia blocked by Hamilton. And he's inside the 10, hit by Marcus Burley, the former Seattle Seahawk, on a 12-yard run. And a flag is thrown.
Holding. Offense, number 83. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Kobe Hamilton.
Really no reason for it. It's down the field. I wanted to show that block from Marquise Pouncey. What a great center, Kevin. You know, we talk about, you said, what makes a good center?
Yeah, what
a guy
does make
that's
a good
tough,
center?
he's physical, he's smart. But what really makes a complete center is a center that can get up and run. And he can do it. He can pull. He can get up on the second level. He's terrific in the screen game. He's got great athleticism for a big man inside.
And he's got a brother who's almost as good. Spot foul, 1st and 8, Bell. Blocked by James, stiff arms his way into Reynolds. An aggressive tackle across the way with a run of 11. Put him at the 12. Nope, put him at the 7-yard line, excuse me.
Talked about his patience. How about his cutting ability? The ability to be able to stop and start on a dime and then quickly accelerate. Pretty good tackle there on the back end by Ed Reynolds.
1st and goal. Ramon Foster with a nice block on that last play. And here's another drive of over 10 plays.
Well, they're just methodically going down the field, having their way against this Cleveland defense, converting third downs. You look at the production on third down. It's been solid so far for the Steelers.
Bell at the bottom of your screen. 1st and goal. Time. Here comes Shelton pushing back Foster. And no one's home. Threw it away wisely on the play. Foster was having his battle right there with Danny Shelton coming up the middle. 2nd and goal at the 7 coming up for Pittsburgh.
Pretty good coverage on the back end. We've been talking about Joe Hayden. He's able to stay with him. That's what you have to do with Ben Roethlisberger, Kevin, because he has the ability to keep plays alive. Ben's always had a difficult time throwing the ball away because he's always made so many big plays over the course of his career. Good decision there to throw it away. Bruce Arians once said to him, every meal is not a banquet. You got to be able to throw it away once in a while and live for another down.
Well, he's feasting now. 2nd goal at the 7. Bell. Foster will lead. And then he is stood up by Kirksey and Burley and others. Collins getting a hand in there. And he does pick up 3. Gets it inside the 4.
Well, this offensive line, Kevin, has really played well today. I mean, they've opened up holes for Le'Veon Bell. They've given Big Ben plenty of protection. It's a really good offensive line, and they're healthy. And that's made a big difference.
Time of possession, those numbers eye-opening. 3rd and goal at the 4.
There's some confusion.
They're going to take a timeout. They'll take it right there. 10 seconds to play in the quarter. First timeout taken by the Steelers in Cleveland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Outback Steakhouse, Bloomin' Great, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
They start him early in Pittsburgh.
What a great sign. What a great,
Good dad.
yeah, good dad to bring his daughter along.
3rd and goal at the 4 after the Pittsburgh timeout. Roethlisberger dropped. Green covered on the play. Reynolds, I'll have to see it and see if it actually went into his hands. It appeared it did. Philadarius Green.
Well, they've had some problems as well as Ben has played today, Kevin. Just 3 of 10
Kindred.
in this part of the field in the red zone today. They've
3 of 10.
just 3 of 10. And of course, Cleveland has struggled a little bit getting off the field, but they have really tightened the screws down in the red zone.
Here's a 22-yard field goal try by Chris Boswell. And it's 17-3. The Pittsburgh Steelers trying to stop a 4-game losing streak, trying to get to 500 after they began the season 4-1, but settling for 3 again in the red zone. Week 11 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox, then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC. And tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Rich, the Steelers today, 4 red zone possessions, 1 touchdown.
If they're better in that part of the field, Kevin, this game would be over. I mean, you know, you look at it, Cleveland hasn't done a thing offensively. And if they're able to get the ball here and drive down and get a touchdown, I mean, they're right back in this thing. You know, if you're Pittsburgh, you can't let a team like Cleveland, who's struggling right now with their confidence in their young quarterback, you can't let them hang around. You got to be able to finish them off, and they have not been able to do that in the red zone.
Boswell with field goals today for the Steelers of 32, 33, and seconds ago 22. Puts Pittsburgh up 17-3 with the kickoff away. One of the few that he has really belted deep. He's been keeping a lot short and on the ground, and out of the end zone it goes to the 25-yard line on the touchback. And we've got some shoving after the play that involved defensive back Artie Burns out there. Who is a first-round pick out of Miami. Had the early preseason thigh injury, knocked him out, so he had to kind of get his paces with the season in mid-motion, but he's picked it up. He's become a starter over the last 3 games.
I think he's getting a better feel for this defense and where he fits and some of the techniques and fundamentals that he's asked to play with in this 3-4 defense.
With an extra lineman and Sean Coleman, it's 1st and 10 for Cody Kessler. They push him back. Here comes Shazier. There goes the wobbly pass. And he caught it. Coleman. Jump ball knocked down by Mitchell. How about that catch? And a big time hit on Kessler. And again he is down after that 16-yard completion.
Well, this is an amazing
Personal
catch.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 94.
Timmons.
Defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed.
Kessler stood in there with a tough jaw, knew he was going to get whacked, and certainly he did by Timmons. End of the 3rd. The athletic training staff of the Cleveland Browns escorting, as you can see, rookie quarterback Cody Kessler to the sideline. Here was the hit by Timmons. And then watch the head on the turf.
Yeah, he gets him with the right shoulder. That head just snaps back. And obviously when a concussion is identified, players obviously removed immediately from the field. The team physician, the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant, will obviously review video of the play, perform a neurological exam, but boy, that didn't look good for Cody Kessler.
This is Josh McCown coming in. There is an untimed down because of the defensive penalty, so no time remains. This is our 3rd untimed down of the game. We had 2 at the end of the first half, which the Steelers gambled with and eventually got the touchdown using it. So 14-year veteran Josh McCown, an early pick by Arizona many years ago, who's traveled around the league at 37 years of age, is in there.
He came in last week in the 3rd quarter on the road. That's Thursday night against the Ravens.
And struggled. 1st and 10 across the middle. They've got Coleman. Missed tackle right there by Gay, and then ushered out of bounds by Sean Davis. And so the gain is 4 to the 40 of the Steelers. 3rd quarter officially to a close. They look at Kessler. This is the NFL on CBS. And obviously concussion protocol now for rookie quarterback Cody Kessler of the Cleveland Browns.
That's unfortunate. Kevin, this is a real opportunity, obviously, to show that he could be the quarterback next season by finishing this season the right way with some production and some wins. And they got to rely on the veteran.
With 4 defensive backs, 2nd down and 7. That's what McCown looks into and dumps it off. Isaiah Crowell upended by Artie Burns and picks up 3. Well, in week 7, Cody Kessler was knocked out in the game with a concussion when he was hit by Bill Montepecco of the Cincinnati Bengals. Today, moments ago, Timmons and Shazier combining on the tackle.
And Timmons came in there like a freight train. I don't know that Cody Kessler ever saw him. He's off to the locker room.
Johnson in 3rd and 4. Pass through the block at the right tackle, but they get by, and Moats has got him. Another sack for Arthur Moats. And they push him back now to the 43-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers with their 5th sack today, a season high for Pittsburgh's D, a loss of 5.
A good look at Moats coming off the edge. And what's amazing, Kevin, is the Steelers have had a difficult time getting to the quarterback all season. They were tied for last in the league coming into this game with just 13 sacks, and they've already got 5 in the first 45 minutes of the game.
Hargrave with pressure, too, on that play. 4th and 9, they're going for it. Into the nickel. McCown threads the needle down to the 34. Got the first down. You see Timmons. He's on the tight end. Barnidge also hit there by the rookie Davis. Gain of 9. Move the chains. It's the first catch today by the Pro Bowler from a season ago, tight end Gary Barnidge.
Good throw by Josh McCown sitting in there. And look, if you're Pittsburgh now, I think you have to shift your focus a little bit back inside to 82, Gary Barnidge. That's where Josh McCown likes to throw the football, to the tight end.
Now he's going deep, and he's looking for Pryor, and Cockrell is there, trying to air it out. Rich, I'm having a hard time reading the wind here because the telltales are blowing all over the joint.
Well, I'd say this, Kevin.
There's wind.
There's wind for sure. It's affecting throws, and I would tell you that I think McCown's got the stronger arm.
Yeah.
And I think he can push the football down the field a little bit more and has more of a willingness and a 1-2 to do that. And so I think you may see more throws down the field. I mentioned Gary Barnidge. He had his best season last year with Josh McCown, and that's where McCown, in a critical situation, he likes to work back inside. He likes that matchup with Barnidge on those linebackers and safeties.
It's 35 now. Feels like 23. Wind at 29 miles an hour. 2nd and 10. McCown incomplete. Oh, Timmons just about had it. Trying to cover Coleman on the drag. And a flag is down at the line.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's the center. That's Cam Irving, and he has had a season of struggle as he tries to replace a terrific center in Alex Mack, who left as a free agent to go with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, can't keep them all, Kevin. They also lost Mitchell Schwartz, 2 really good players up front. And Cam Irving, that has played a number of different positions along the offensive line. Trying to get him to become a good centerpiece in the middle of that offense. Talk about being strong down the middle. He has to play well up front.
Schwartz, a right tackle now with Kansas City. 2nd down. Oh, it looked like
snapped it early.
It did, and Jarvis Jones jumping.
The center double clutched it.
He did. Irving.
Just talking about him.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
He had a real scare earlier in the season. He had a bruised lung, Rich, and there was a lot of concern on the Brown staff. He missed some games because of it.
Just watch him. He's going to double clutch it. He moves the ball right there, and then he stops, and then he starts to snap it. It's probably a good thing they blew that play dead, or Jarvis Jones would have had an easy sack coming off the edge.
Now, Kessler probably didn't see as much of the field as a guy like McCown can see in terms of reading all the field.
Right. He could, he's a more experienced guy, Kevin. He's been through a lot of fires. He can process information a little bit more efficiently, and I think he throws the ball pretty well if he's got a clean pocket.
2nd 25 here. Nice catch by Pryor, who did not grow up a Steeler fan, and Jeanette, which is not that far from Pittsburgh. He's hit by Cockrell. He's dragged down after a 15-yard catch. He gets down to the Steeler 34-yard line.
Mike Tomlin telling us last night that when he first took the job in Pittsburgh, he wanted to go see a high school basketball game. His family wasn't in town, right? So he went over to I think it was a state championship game at Duquesne, and the gym was packed, and it was a dunk fest. Said that was his first meeting with Terrell Pryor, and they've had a friendship ever since.
Best quarterback in the country out of high school, maybe one of the best basketball players too. 3rd and 10. Here they come up the middle. He got away from Davis. Nice escape. Duke Johnson with the block from Andrew Hawkins. And he's got the ball, though it was wiggling out there at the end. It's a completion to the 14, 19-yard reception. Make it a 20-yard catch. 1st down.
Well, you're going to see the blitz, and some nice job by Josh McCown. He knows it's coming. He steps up inside. He's able to avoid the rush. The rookie, Sean Davis, has him, and he can't get him on the ground, and McCown's able to find Duke Johnson on the crossing route. When you bring that blitz, you gotta get the quarterback on the ground.
Crowell is in 1st and 10. Brings it back, Crowell. Crowell came out of high school. He was the #1 running back in the country. Went to Georgia, then he transferred and went to Alabama State. He picks up 4 right there. They take it down to the Steeler 10. Shazier was there at the stop.
We're getting a little bit of rhythm now, Kevin, with Josh McCown. That's the beauty of having a veteran quarterback. He can come in cold, doesn't need a lot of work and reps during the week. He's a veteran guy that knows what to do in critical situations. McCown already 6 of 7.
Into the Steeler nickel, 2nd down and 6. Crowell again, read well. Beautiful play by Shazier. They throw him for a 3-yard loss because he was so much on top of that play. He's a terrific player. They go back near the 14-yard line.
I think Shazier is their best defensive player right now, Kevin. You have to account for him and make sure that you get a hat on him. He always seems to be around the football. Dallas really did a good job last week. They sent a lot of their big offensive linemen after him. Not the biggest guy inside, but boy, he knows how to make tackles.
From Ohio State, #1 pick, 3rd and 9. You wonder if they'll go for it on 4th if they don't convert here. They had zeros on the play clock, but the throw is on the money and caught by Barnidge, beating the rookie Artie Burns. Touchdown, Cleveland. 14-yard laser thrown by Josh McCown. And the Browns are back in business.
How about Barnidge? Last year, Kevin, he had 9 red zone catches. 8 of them went for touchdowns. This year, he had just 1 catch, no touchdowns. I mentioned when McCown comes back in the game, he likes to throw the ball to his tight end. And there he is for the touchdown. There's a certain comfort level that Josh McCown has with the veteran Gary Barnidge. He knows where he's going to be. They have a history together, especially in this part of the field.
At the extra point, put up and through by Parkey. Coleman caught one for 16. Oh, he missed it. He missed the extra point. Duke Johnson caught one for 20. And then Barnidge grabbing one with the rookie on him in the end zone on the throw by Josh McCown.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff. Garmin Fitness. Let's beat yesterday. And by Kay Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with Kay.
The ensuing kickoff. Parkey just missed an extra point. One of 9 missed extra points today in the National Football League. Toussaint to an to the 25-yard line with a 1st and 10. Here comes Bell and the offense of Pittsburgh and 9:45 to go. Tuesday on CBS. He's not a lawyer, but he knows how to win the case. Michael Weatherly stars in TV's #1 news show, Bull. New episode Tuesday after NCIS. Cleveland to miss extra point after the touchdown pass of 14 yards from McCown, taking the place of the concussed Cody Kessler. It's 1st and 10, and Roethlisberger goes outside to Antonio Brown, ushered over there out of bounds by Jamar Taylor. It is a gain of about 3, and they'll put the ball at the 28-yard line.
Well, they just find creative ways to get Antonio Brown his touches. Quick game, the screen game, intermediate throws, double moves down the field. Do a nice job moving him around. Just don't continually line him up outside the numbers where it makes it easy for Cleveland to double him.
He's got 8 catches and 76 yards today. Here's a Roethlisberger's 2nd down and 7.
The safety sneaking down.
Bell looking for a block, and he got it from Gilbert, but it only gets a 2-yard gain because Nassib was there with the stop for Cleveland. Let's take you to New York and James Brown.
Dallas's drive eating the clock.
Yes, they are right here. That Dak and Dez combination is heating up right here. You see Dez catch his second touchdown of the game. 6 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns for Prescott. They are starting to pull away, 24-10.
Dak to Dez, Gonzalez to Harlan.
And if Pittsburgh would win here and Baltimore would go on to lose, we'd have a tie atop the division.
Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Back and forth. It's the beauty of the AFC North.
3rd and 5.
Comes the blitz off
Good
the
block
edge.
by Bell. Here they come. He gets away and throws incomplete. After he was spun around like a top and corkscrewed into the turf, and Collins was there grabbing him. And in fact, got him so much he took off his hand warmer. 2nd 3 and out for Pittsburgh.
Well, you're going to see Joe Hayden come. They bring this blitz, and they can pick up one of them, but not both. Ben knows it. Somehow he finds a way to make Hayden miss. Fortunate that wasn't a sack. But I like the fact that Cleveland is starting to be a little bit more aggressive defensively.
This is Jordan Berry punting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Duke Johnson is back at the 20. Hang time of 4-4. Slowed down there initially on the special teams by L.J. Fort. Fort was re-signed after the injury to Steven Johnson. Timeout on the 18-yard return. Since 2014, the NFL has presented the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award for on-field sportsmanship. Today's nominees: Pittsburgh's Arthur Moats, who has a sack and a half. Cleveland's Joe Thomas, the left tackle, 9-time Pro Bowler, 155th consecutive start today, has never missed a snap.
Old Faithful, the left tackle spot.
After the punt by Pittsburgh and a 3 and out, 1st and 10 for McCown. Pressure, traffic, sacked, brought down by Stephon Tuitt. Again, another sack, 6th today by the Pittsburgh D. And they'll put him back to the 31.
Boy, I'll tell you what, look at the rush that they're getting. You see Harrison on the edge. Tuitt has just been all over the backfield today. Josh McCown, that ball has to come out on time against this rush. They are absolutely dominating the line of scrimmage. 6 sacks already against these Cleveland quarterbacks.
Stephon Tuitt had a sack last week against Dallas, too. 2nd and 17 for McCown. Almost picked off on the ball thrown in back of the tight end Barnage by the safety, the young, good-looking player out of Maryland, Sean Davis, incomplete.
Well, I mentioned the struggles that they've had getting to the quarterback, this Pittsburgh defense. And even you look at last season and this season, it's a problem. 6 sacks today, though. I just think getting some people healthy and back on the field. Good look at defensive coordinator Keith Butler being a little bit more aggressive, going after these Browns quarterbacks.
And remember, doing it today without Cam Hayward, who was perhaps the best defensive player, tore the pec against the Cowboys. 3rd and 17, they need the 48. Pressure, the toss, and a flag has been thrown. The tackle by Shazier on a gain of 5 to Barnage, who made an acrobatic grab to begin with. And the flag is against Pittsburgh.
Illegal use of the hands, hands to the face, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
This is Lauren Timmons. Lawrence Timmons making the penalty right there on a 3rd and 17, Rich.
Well, he just runs over the back, and unfortunately he puts his hands up into the face of Duke Johnson.
95th consecutive start for Lawrence Timmons today, by the way, on that defense for the Steelers.
This is bullying. This is called bullying. Watch this. See that? That's called bullying in the NFL.
And it's called bravery by Duke Johnson.
It is. But look at him.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, I give Duke Johnson a lot of credit.
I do
He's
too.
not a big guy, but he's fighting. He's in there fighting against a much bigger and really terrific edge player in Timmons. Timmons has been coming off the edge quite a bit.
1st and 10. Here he
There he
comes
is
again,
again.
and he's got him again. Lawrence Timmons with a sack right there. Playing well, loss of 11 on the play, gets a sack. 7 by Pittsburgh's defense, back to the 25.
And you just see the edge rush right off the edge, and Isaiah Crowell gets the opportunity this time, and he too gets walked right into the back, right to the lap of Josh McCown. You think of Timmons as an inside linebacker, but when he gets in that 2-point stance and comes screaming off the edge,
Hold on.
he can be very disruptive. He can be a bully.
Or a bulldozer. 2nd and 21. McCown, on the cross and caught by Coleman after a big strike by Mitchell. It's a first down. He jumps back up. Are they going to say it's incomplete?
A really nice grab and great concentration by the rookie Corey Coleman. He gets...
You know, he was going far enough on his route, but then he actually ended up a couple yards shy as he came back a bit, but the penalty flag was thrown where he was catching and
There
hit.
is no foul for unnecessary roughness. It's 3rd down.
3rd down and a couple.
Well, they were looking at the hit from Mike Mitchell, and whether it was high and to the head of Corey Coleman.
It's 3rd and 5.
When in doubt, they throw the flag, Kevin. That one could have gone either way.
Hey, release.
5 defensive backs for the Steelers. 3rd down and 5 for Josh McCown. Blocked by Hester at that right tackle. And incomplete, whistling over the head of intended receiver Rashard Higgins, rookie out of Colorado State, with Mike Mitchell in the vicinity. And the punting unit is out there for Cleveland.
Just a one-score game at this point. It's the right decision with 5:45 to go in the game. You've got to give your defense a chance to go out and get a stop.
Just receiving word from the Browns bench. It is a concussion ruled for Cody Kessler, so obviously out for the rest of the day and perhaps longer. Second one he's sustained this season. The punt here by Colquitt. Antonio Brown, fair caught, 15-yard line. And time of 4.35, 44-yard punt. The Steelers trying to break a 4-game losing streak on top, 5.5 to go.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive, handing off big savings to you. And by Subway. Try the classic Reuben, stacked with corned beef, limited time only.
West Side Market hopping on this Sunday. Great place to go. Wonderful history. Out of the sights and sounds of Cleveland, Ohio. After the punt, 1st and 10. It's Bell with a block by DeCastro and by Nix, and then they jump on him with Cam Johnson, the linebacker, riding him down near the 20 on a gain of 5. So Baltimore was losing last we saw in Dallas. Pittsburgh winning here. If it continues that way, and that's the way the day ends, we've got a tie atop the division at 5-5, the Ravens and the Steelers.
This division's crazy, Kevin. I mentioned that, the Ravens at one point had lost 4 in a row. They beat the Steelers a couple of weeks back, and they go atop the division. And Pittsburgh started off, they were hot. Now they've lost 4 in a row. And it's a lot of football still to be played when you look at, and not only that, but the Steelers, they have the easiest strength of schedule remaining over the next 5 weeks.
Chris Hubbard in, and they go the opposite way, though. Hubbard was on the right side as an extra lineman. There goes no gain for Bell on that 2nd down and 5 as we take you to James in New York.
Tough guy, Steve Smith.
Yeah, Steve Smith had his 1,000th catch to become the 14th player ever in NFL history to do that. And this one goes for a touchdown. 7 catches, 92 yards, 24-17. Dallas is up.
Kevin and Rich.
That is the same Steve Smith who blew his Achilles last year.
He's such a difference maker for them. They're such a
agree.
much more explosive team with a healthy Steve Smith in the lineup. He brings some attitude and toughness to that bunch.
Toussaint is in.
Another blitz.
3rd and 5. Ooh, they got tangled up, and there is no yellow with Hayden watching Antonio Brown.
You think about the pressures. We've seen back-to-back pressures now on 3rd down. They just get tangled up. Oh, wait a minute. Wow. Hayden caught a break there, and Antonio Brown asking for the penalty. But you think about that back-to-back snaps now on 3rd down where we've seen Cleveland bring pressure against Ben Roethlisberger.
Cleveland didn't have to use any timeouts. There's only like a minute and a half run off by the Pittsburgh offense there.
They don't see a lot of blitz.
Nope.
The fewest percentage of blitz in the league. Teams don't like the blitz, Ben Roethlisberger.
Barry punting.
Oh, man, you got to feel bad.
He does. It's a little block right there from Hayden, and then here's an avalanche of Steeler defenders and special teamers that make the stop near the 22. Not much hang time. A lot of emotion in this one. Rivals very familiar with one another. The Steelers, the Browns. We step aside.
Timeout.
There was a block in the back illegally by Cleveland. The flag was thrown. Now we step aside. Coming up next, Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. So the Pats take on the Niners. Check local listings for the game in your area. We're starting position here for the Cleveland Browns, who get it after the punt by Pittsburgh. There was a subsequent penalty, which it pushes it back to the 13-yard line at Cleveland. Each team with 2 timeouts. Josh McCown is in. He's thrown a touchdown pass in relief of Cody Kessler, who had a concussion earlier in this half. Crowell is in, 1st and 10. And across the middle, a hit by Mitchell on Pryor. It's incomplete.
Well, that ball sailed on Josh McCown, and Pryor had a big target going across the field. You can't do that as a quarterback. You've got to look out in front of throws, but you also have to protect your guys. Look how this ball sails. Pryor knows there's a safety in the middle of the field. That's a textbook play by the free safety, Mike Mitchell. This hurts. This is a shot to the midsection, to your ribs, and he won't be sleeping too well tonight. They are painful. He got hung out to dry. As a quarterback, you feel bad about that. You don't want to see players get hurt, but you don't want to be the reason why. This one is high and late down the middle, and that's why Pryor has to take that hit from Mitchell.
Richie went to Ohio State and started at quarterback as a freshman for the Buckeyes. He was a quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. In fact, the last time they saw him, he was quarterback in the Raiders, and he ran 93 yards for a touchdown. As a QB, that was back in 2013.
Well, he's a tough guy. This game's important to him, Kevin. We saw him earlier in the game. The frustration on the sidelines. He wants to be great, and he's put a lot of time and effort and energy into learning a new position. He's bought in, and he is going to be a really good one. Once he figures it all out, you can see the improvement. I talked to Pep Hamilton and Hugh Jackson a couple weeks ago, and he said he's getting more comfortable playing with his back, to the field. You think about it, as a quarterback, you're seeing everything down the field. Now all of a sudden you're a receiver and you have your back to the defense a lot of times. Be surprised if he doesn't come back in at some point. He's a tough guy.
With a 2nd down and 10. They come at him from the secondary and from the linebacking core, and Shazier is there. The ball knocked free. Looks like it was recovered by Hargrave for a touchdown. It was. The rookie from South Carolina State, Javon Hargrave, vacuums in the loose ball on the fumble by Josh McCown.
Well, he got fooled, and he to make matters worse, you're going to see that they show it one way and then they drop the other. And Shazier doesn't make it initially, but watch him keep rallying to the football. I think Josh McCown didn't realize how quick Ryan Shazier is. He's a 4.4, legitimate 4.4 guy. He can run. Look at those strides. McCown's got to throw the ball away in that situation. Wow, what a great play by Ryan Shazier. You just see the frustration from Hugh Jackson.
8 sacks today for the Pittsburgh defense. That ties the most by any team this season in the league. 5th fumble this season by McCown. 2nd one he's lost.
Look at Shazier. Wow.
Boy, is he quick. And just as effective with a nice move there was the rookie Javon Hargrave.
The one thing I've noticed today is the pass rush to me. I mean, the tempo and the speed with which they've got up the field into the backfield. That's been the difference, Kevin. The sacks, 7 of them in this game against the Cleveland Browns. And remember, this was a defense that came in to the game tied for the fewest amount of sacks, actually 8 sacks. Jeez, oh man, that's been the difference. And they've come from everywhere. They've come from inside, they've come from the defensive ends, they've come from the linebackers, they've brought safeties. You got to tip your hat to the job that Keith Butler has done with this defense.
Shazier with his third forced fumble, which is number 1 on that Pittsburgh defense. We talked about the 8 team sacks. That's the first sack by Shazier, but he's had pressure all day long.
Well, you stop the run, you can have some fun, and that's what they did. They basically turned this into a one-dimensional game, and they just pinned their ears back and got after whichever quarterback was in the game, whether it was Cody Kessler, Josh McCown. Neither quarterback had a lot of time back there in the pocket.
6 different players with a sack for defensive coordinator Keith Butler. Pittsburgh has 10 points off of 2 Cleveland turnovers. And the Browns are looking at 0-11.
Turnovers have been a problem for Josh McCown the last couple times he's gotten a chance to play.
Well, he replaced, remember they benched Cody Kessler in the last game. He had 3 turnovers against Baltimore. This will be left in the end zone with Ricardo Lewis grabbing it out to the 25 with the 1st and 10.
Kevin, he got fooled by the blitz, right? So, okay, you get fooled. Throw the ball away. It's first down. You know, you can't do that. He knows better than that. I mean, it was a 1-score game at that point. He had an opportunity to, to put his team in a position to have a chance to tie the game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. You see Pryor back in the game. Good example of sportsmanship there between Mike Mitchell, the free safety, and Terrell Pryor after that collision on the previous possession.
94, 94. Lucky.
95 down, 94.
Hey, lucky.
180. Lucky. Easy. Ricky.
It is a 1st and 10.
He's changing the
Play
protections.
game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Now it's 1st and 15.
And what happened was Pittsburgh's doing a great job, Kevin, disguising their intentions. You heard a Ricky, lucky call from the quarterback. Ricky sending the line to the right. Now all of a sudden Pittsburgh shows the pressure the other way. They go lucky. And meanwhile, the play clock's running down to 0. Another Ricky.
Pressure again, and here comes the running McCown, and then drilled by Tuitt. Run of 6.
How about this? They're not handling the same blitz that got him before. You're going to see the linebacker bail. Same blitz. Where? Here he is. There's Shazier. They just did it. And they're not picking it up. The protections, the Steelers are doing a terrific job breaking down the protections. Look at that hit. Wow. That one will make a highlight reel for sure.
2nd down, 9. Crowell tries to escape Artie Burns' grasp, and Burns trips him up and allows only a gain of a yard out to the 26.
It just seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they're much faster. They're more athletic. They're more physical. When you look at the matchup between the 11 guys in the orange jerseys and the 11 guys in the white jerseys. They are just flying around making plays. Look at them. Oh, look at all the movement.
3rd down and 8, and here's McCown. Incomplete for Pryor. Burns was in front. Mitchell was in back. With a clock at 2:16. 4th down and 8 for the Browns. They'll keep their offense out there.
When you get hit like that, when you're Terrell Pryor, you think twice about going back in the middle of the field. Start running out cuts instead of the in cuts. Been frustrating for Hugh Jackson. I think he's a good football coach, Kevin. I think he's a very good play caller. I just don't think he has the tools in his toolbox right now. Doesn't have enough personnel on either side of the ball to be competitive enough to win games in this league.
4th down and 8.
Let's throw it to somebody.
He does. It's Pryor lunging and
got
close
it.
to a 1st down. Timmons makes the stop on a gain of 8. Looks like he has the 1st down. Indeed he does.
A good effort there by Pryor to get the 1st down.
This takes us to the 2-minute warning. Big hits by this Pittsburgh defense all day. Tuitt with one right there. little more than 2 months since the Steelers have won on the road, heading that way right now. And if they go to 5-5 and have a tie for first, or maybe this is ahead of them, Rich, with a date in Indianapolis coming up.
Yeah, 3 of the next 4 on the road, though, Kevin. This is a good start for them. They were struggling on the road, and that's what they got to do. They got to be able to go on the road and win the next month.
Baltimore was losing last we heard down in Dallas. It's a 1st and 10, and it's a throw, and Pryor is the one to get it. And they chase him down with Ross Cockrell makes the grab on a 12-yard reception and a 1st down for the Browns. 2 timeouts. Pittsburgh's got 2. 1st and 10.
Hurry, to go.
Blocked by Crowell. That's off someone's helmet. It looked like it's incomplete to Coleman. 2nd down and 10. Flag thrown in the secondary.
There is no foul for pass interference as the pass was tipped. Pass was tipped in the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
And 10.
I think McCullers got that.
Bud Dupree was eligible to come off the IR this week. He practiced all week. He was activated yesterday, but I got to tell you, I don't think I've seen him today.
No, we haven't seen a lot of him. If he has played at all, Kevin, we've seen so much of Timmons coming off the edge. And James Harrison.
He was a 1st-round pick a year ago. 2nd down and 10. Oof. Almost swiped right there. They were going for Barnidge. And Mike Mitchell just about came up with it. He's the leading tackler in that Pittsburgh secondary. He's been a starter all season long.
That would have been the first interception from a safety this season. They had 5 last year. They've had no interceptions from the safety position. Mike Mitchell's close right here. Barnes does just enough to distract him at the end, but another aggressive throw from Josh McCown.
Artie Burns had a sack in the first portion of the game. Then set up a 16-play Pittsburgh drive. They got a field goal to go on the board. 3-zip, 3rd and 10. Look out, here comes Timmons again. Incomplete. Hard-hitting game all day. 1:23 to play here in the 4th.
A lot of big hits. If it's been the Pittsburgh defense, special teams, a big hit from Mike Mitchell to it. Josh McCown never sees him. Cleveland has not done a good job, Kevin, with their running backs in protection. And what's happening is you're seeing Timmons and Harrison line up outside, and they're getting matchups against these running backs, these smaller running backs, and they are winning big time.
4th and 10. Cleveland's converted all 3 4th downs today. It's Duke Johnson. He needs the 43 of Pittsburgh, and he's not going to get it.
That's a fumble.
That looks live. It does. It's picked up by Davis. He's got blockers ahead. He got one from Shazier. He's going to take it in for the 2nd defensive touchdown, and the flag is down at the 38.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 93. Forcible contact to the head of the passer. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
On Daniel McCullers.
Watch Timmons, though. I'll tell you what, Kevin, if I'm giving a game ball, some defensively, I give it to Ryan Shazier. And how about Lawrence Timmons? Watch this play by Timmons. First of all, it's a hustle play. Watch him come in here at the left side of your screen. Right there. Bam. He's the one that knocks the ball out. And Sean Davis is able to scoop it up, and he goes in for the score had it not been for the penalty. But look at this hit. Timmons has had a terrific day. Not only rushing the passer, but making some big-time hits. Oh, he has played well.
Everybody on the defense has played well. And this without Cam Hayward, who's out with the pectoral tear last week against the Cowboys. Here was the hit on the quarterback that was penalized.
Yep, hit to the head.
And the ball was out.
That's tough. You know, you're trying to get your
block
hand up there, and he just deflected the ball earlier. You're trying to make a play, and if you come down and hit the head of the quarterback, they'll call that one every time.
Hurry, come on. Let's go. Hurry,
Another delay of game almost. Nope, they get it off.
Underneath they go to Crowell, the running back, and 3 Steelers there to meet him. Close to a first down, though. With the Mitchell hit, 9-yard gain. They'll put him at the 29-yard line of Pittsburgh.
You throw one in the end zone here and get a quick score, you'd have a chance for an onside kick.
Hurry, seal.
Got a hustle.
Second down and 1. Timmons again, keeping his head on a swivel, and then throwing it away. He had Ricardo Matthews among a couple there that were bearing down on him. Wisely retreats with that throw, and 35 seconds to play.
Mike Tomlin over there coaching up those officials.
You see James Harrison there to the left. He set the Steeler career record for sacks. Had a sack today early in the game, passing Jason Gilden. And it was a full sack, was what he needed. He was one of 6 different players with the Pittsburgh sack this afternoon. 3rd and 1.
Keep an eye on Pryor.
That's almost picked off. Artie Burns just about had his second of the day and 3rd of the year.
He ran the route for the receiver.
He did look like it, didn't it?
I think that Corey Coleman runs a slant route. You've got to keep coming. You've got to cross the face of the defender. Artie Burns was the more aggressive player in that situation.
So 4th and 1. There's James Harrison. He is from Akron, played at Kent State.
Let's go. 95.
94.
3rd start today over the past 2 seasons. 4th and 1. Crowell. Looks like he's carved out the first down. Ricardo Matthews there, gain of 2. So that puts him at the 27, and Cleveland will take a timeout. And they've got 1, and Pittsburgh's got 2 left.
You got to start throwing the ball in the end zone, don't you, Kevin? There's 27 seconds left. You're down by a couple scores, and you got to start taking some shots to the end zone.
Where are they going to win, Rich? If they go to 0-11, lose this one, as they are on track to do, where do they win with that remaining schedule?
I would say you got a good chance against Cincinnati. I think Buffalo will be tough, Kevin. They've got a very good defense there. That's on the road. Maybe San Diego, you get a warm weather team that comes into here, and you're going to have to Phillip Rivers a little bit. But man, they don't want to earn that dubious distinction of joining the 2008 Detroit Lions as the only 0-16 team in NFL history. They're running out of time. They got to have a sense of urgency here to try and get something done. This was not a good performance, certainly not from their offense in the first half. They didn't give themselves a chance to be competitive.
First down, McCown, and deflected. Looking for Coleman, Timmons, Mitchell, and Jarvis Jones all in that area. Incomplete.
Oh, I think Corey Coleman might have saw that play a little bit earlier where Terrell Pryor went in there and got busted up. I'll tell you what, when you play like the safeties are for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, and Mike Mitchell, you're hitting people. People like the rookie Coleman, they think twice about going in there with a sense of urgency. You go in there with
I know it.
You go in there with cautiously optimistic that the quarterback's going to throw you a low ball.
Keep your head on a swivel. 2nd down and 10. Thomas holding out Jones. And here comes Jarvis Jones chasing McCown with the clock now at 13 seconds. And they'll put him at the 22 with a gain of 5 for Josh McCown, who has been incredibly helpful to what has been a lot of different quarterbacks. 5 different starting quarterbacks for the Browns this season, Rich.
You know, all the quarterbacks that took all the reps in the OTAs and mini camps and training camp aren't playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Robert Griffin III and it was Josh McCown. And these guys haven't played a lot of football this year. The guy that's been playing the most football is really the guy that was supposed to be a developmental player in Cody Kessler.
Griffin will begin practicing, they say, this week. 3rd down and 5. And again throws it away after the pressure was applied, and this time it's L.T. Walton. And he's going to get increased playing time with Hayward being out. He just had 24 snaps in the 3 games played before today.
It's not just the sacks, Kevin. There's been 8 of them, but it's the hits, the hurries, the knockdowns, the fact that they made whichever quarterback, whether it was Josh McCown or Cody Kessler, rush a little bit. You know, neither quarterback has had a chance to really sit in there and trust the protection.
Great, great.
4th and 5, 8 seconds to play.
Hurry, shield.
Chicolo comes off the edge into Thomas. And that is caught by Seth DeValve, who is grabbed by Jones. It's a gain of 8. There is a second left as Cleveland uses their final timeout. So Pittsburgh is going to go to 5 and 5. We're waiting on the finish with Baltimore and Dallas. Baltimore is down by 10 with under a minute to go. So if it continues on, we'll have a tie atop the division. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, it looks like, Rich, have survived a 4-game losing streak, which is tough for any team to do.
That's amazing. Baltimore survived one earlier, Kevin. So,
Yes.
I mean, we have to, it's not that
Pretty.
often that teams lose 4 in a row and even
No,
make the playoffs.
I know
And
it.
now we've got 2 teams in Baltimore and Pittsburgh that have done that. I think this tells you the parity that we have in our league right now. A lot of teams still trying to figure things out, hovering around 500.
Final play right here with McCown.
Oh, geez.
Time caught. Duke Johnson hit by Burns, and that will do it. The Steelers stop a 4-game losing streak. They go to 5 and 5. The Browns have lost for a 14th consecutive time, and they drop to 0 and 11. Coming up next, Game 2 of the NFL CBS doubleheader. For Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, so long from Cleveland.